Well, hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Harebrained Games, the Weekend Games, a weekly segment I do apparently once every couple months. I must confess, I did a Weekend Games for early January, which somehow got lost on the cutting room floor, so I decided to basically, rather than just publish it now when it's a little bit out of place, I'm just going to go ahead and roll with it and just get rolling. I hope you guys are having a great 2022. Um, I want I want to shout out to all the people who have been commenting and just writing some really insightful stuff about some of the reviews and previews and stuff that I've done. So I really love this group. I love you, man. It's been fantastic. So I'm not gonna belabor that point. Again, I'm still feasting on games over Christmas. We did a Secret Santa that I'm still very, very grateful for in late 2021. I had the best Secret Santa ever, who sent not one, not two, but three games. I actually ended up with Jaws of the Lion from Gloomhaven, and I am very thankful for that. So thank you to all of you people. I hope this February, it's Valentine's Day when I'm recording this, so love to you all. Let's get on to the news. In the news, we have GMT unleashing to us Infernal Machine. Now, this is an odd one. This is Jeremy White, who I have enjoyed immensely for building really fantastic narrative wartime experiences with his Doolittle Raid and Skies Over series. Just fantastic. The Infernal Machine is quirky in all get out. You are tasked with designing, building, and employing a sub in the Civil War. That's right. Like, yes, that is your mission if you choose to accept it. Knowing Jeremy White, knowing his propensity for just fantastic narration and for going the extra mile to try to teach and refine the playbook, the rules, etc., this is a no-brainer for me. So, GMT Infernal Machine. And next we have Rome Total War, which was in Kickstarter fashion. Total War series, if you've ever played it on the computer, is a fascinating top high-level turn-based, followed with a real-time battleground war battle system. I'm all antennas up for this. I'm excited about it. I'm gonna back it. It's pricey, so buyer beware. If it's not really up your alley, you might not find it worth a pretty hefty cost. So, Love Letter, Jabba's Palace. Who wouldn't want to play Love Letter in Jabba's Palace? It's almost out. It should be out in stores very soon. Rock on. And then from the creator of The Initiative, Corey Konechia. The Initiative is just one of his latest games. He's done a bazillion of them. There's a new game called Voices in My Head. Voices in My Head is, well, it's like you're stepping into the courtroom as a player, and you're going into the mind of a man on trial. He's accused of robbing a bank. Now, one player takes on the role of the prosecution in trying to convict the defendant, Guy, and send him to prison. Everyone else takes on aspects of Guy's personality, such as honesty, selfishness, and attempts to It's very quirky. Again, I love an unusual premise. We're getting quite a few of those these days. To win the game, each player must achieve some sort of hidden goal. Way out there, but given his current track record of games that I've enjoyed, I have a suspicion that I will like this too. Voices in My Head. That, let's get to my question of the week. So now that it's February, how are we all doing on our New Year's resolutions? Yes, it's always good to wait 6 weeks to ask, right? Give it the 6-week trial period. So I can say that my New Year's resolution, it used to be 1024 by 768. Now it's 2048 by 1080, and I can say emphatically that I have been very faithful to that resolution. So let's get to my 3 games. Game number 1, Fairy Tail Inn. I got this because another thing I'm a sucker for are variants of classic games done with more entertaining feel. Games that take, for example, chess and turn it into like battle chess or war chess or or Chutes and Ladders becomes Takedo. Huh. Anyway, Fairy Tale Inn is Connect 4 with a point. You are tasked with putting your you're sending these little fairy tales. They're going to different rooms of the inn, and those rooms are represented by, you guessed it, a big flat plastic piece that you drop pieces into. You get certain points for certain things. The different tokens you drop in have special abilities depending on how they're arranged. Yeah, so I mean, at its price point, I couldn't resist. Next we have a game highly recommended by everybody, and I'm hoping to figure out why. Nidavellir. I don't know. All I know is it's got some seal or something on it, and it's supposed to be similar to Splendor, but with some mightier things. I did set it up. I started it through its paces and realized I really need to just get this on the table with lots of people to really run it through its paces. So I might do a review on it someday. I like the theme. I mean, I hesitated it for a long time because I liked the theme and the art was okay, but there wasn't anything that was like, you gotta get this, you gotta pack this baby in. Maybe I was wrong. Let's find out. And finally, after almost a month languishing in the FedEx warehouse up north, 20 miles of me, where packages can cross the country in 7 days, and then a month later I might get them. Things are really bad for FedEx right now here. Defense of Procyon 3. This is a game uniquely by David Schurze, which we know from all of his wonderful solo variations and helps with making games soloable. The Defense of Procyon is clever in that it is 4 very unique sides. Well, 2 factions. Well, two sides, aliens and humans, or Earthlings, and then 4 different factions. That are very unique in how you play them. Each side you have the spacefaring aliens and the spacefaring humans. You've got the spacefaring ground units and the alien ground units and the human ground units, and each of those 4 sides plays uniquely. It's got a root, like that root vibe, where your side, if you had 4 people playing it, you would have a unique way of playing it, like bag building. Some of it is like card handling, card exhaustion. In space you're trying to manipulate in certain ways, and then that kind of that can have effect on ground units where you're trying to it's a lot. I pulled it out, I set it up. It's a huge table game. Like, it's really large table game. And so I decided to put it away until I could really ruminate on it and read it up and try again, because while it's fully solo capable, or even less than 4 players, some games I just kind of have to just let them stew and learn them over time. But it's big, it's epic. You definitely get your value in components and pieces. I'm almost doing a pre-review of it, aren't I? Anyway, Defense of Procyon. I think it'll be available in retail by the time this video finally, after much belatedness and laziness on my part, gets out to you also. Alright, that's it. Let's get to Tim Machine. The year is 2001. That's right, 2001. So let's talk about 2001. What was the big story? Well, 9/11, and that isn't a fun story. That I think we all kind of know where we were that day. I certainly do. Much to remember, much vividness. So that definitely dominated the airwaves, and for good reason. So, what was the movie? The top movie was Shrek, a movie I've seen well over 100 times. Memorized bits and pieces of it. Used bits and pieces of it in writings. Shrek was one of my all-time favorite animated movies. It redefined the movies for me, from the Disney the Disney films to something irreverent, and I just loved it. So, song was "Hang by a Moment" by Lifehouse. I don't remember that song. I'll have to go and listen to it, but here we are. The book was Skipping Christmas by John Grisham. That eventually made it into one of my favorite Christmas movies, Christmas with the Cranks, which I've also seen probably well over 100 times. not everyone likes it, but I certainly did, and I definitely, yeah, it's a Christmas tradition. What game did I play? Reiner Knizia's Winner's Circle. This was a clever take on horse racing, having you betting on your horse and other horses, and it wasn't your simple fare of it really. That was the thing. I think the game that introduced me to Reiner Knizia as far as his prowess as a game designer. What game would I have bought if I'd known then what I know now? Wilderness War. Yeah, yeah. I eventually ended up getting a copy, but or I think I did somewhere in these dusty tomes. But yeah, I would have definitely. I'm not sure I would have grokked it back then, but I definitely should have. Um, what game did I want to play? Well, Starship Catan. I wasn't ever a big Catan person. I know, heresy. Ugh, how could I? But Starship Catan had a few things that had going for it that I thought would make it more interesting to me. So there it is, 2001. Now let's talk about 2002. In 2002, the top story, again, was not a very happy story. The Chechen rebels take 760 plus hostages in a Moscow theater, and I remember that all the way over on this side of the world. Yeah, that was a tragedy too. Yeah, can't we all just get along? The top movie was My Big Fat Greek Wedding, which I've seen over one time, and maybe almost two. Clever. I remember Windex or something, or I don't know. Anyway, the song was How You Remind Me, by Nickelback, which is pretty much every other song they ever wrote too. Like, yeah. Oh, I know. Give me a break. And then the book was The Lovely Bones by Alice Sebold. I have not read The Lovely Bones. I'm not really sure why, but I haven't read them. I think there's a movie about them, isn't there? I'm clearly behind the times for 2002 standards. What game did I play? Bang the Dice game. This is when I started to finally get friends around who were starting to get into gaming. The kids were getting older. I was having more of them, but all my kids are awesome. So, Bang the Dice game, Bang the card game. Was one that I enjoyed, although it had, I mean, you could be out like that and then watching the rest of the game go by, and that's where when Bang the Dice game came out, I don't think I've gone back to the card game since, to be honest with you, because if you're going to go out with a bang quickly, you might as well have the whole game in quickly so you can just go back in. I don't know. I like the dice game. I thought it did an equitable job of providing the fun while not requiring excessive time investment. So what game would I have bought if I'd known then what I know now? Well, Lord of the Rings. Lord of the Rings, pretty much anything Lord of the Rings. I've since worked hard to get everything Lord of the Rings, but back then, watching the movies too, bliss. Anyway, what game did I want to play? Well, that would be Sid Meier's Civilization, the board game, the very original one. Several have come out since. I have the Sid Meier's Civilization. I have New Dawn with its expansion pack. Yeah, I love Civ games. There's been a lot of them come out. That one was one that I still think I would have enjoyed playing, but again, probably wouldn't have had the audience for it at the time. So, and there we go. That's what we got. It's nice to be able to put one of these out again. I hope the rest of your January goes well as we head into February. We're going to start seeing more board game conventions coming along. There's one this weekend I'm hoping to get up to in Bellingham. There's one next month, so I really hope that we can get through and get a little more interaction with humans in a board gaming nature. So take care, and we'll see you next time on Harebrained Games.